Clarice the childminder gripped the steering wheel and squinted at the road ahead. She'd forgotten her driving glasses and couldn't see past the end of her nose. Her long silver earrings bounced as the car rocked through potholes and ditches. There was a chicken nugget in the cup holder and jam smeared on the dashboard. Along the back seat, there was a line of kids in baby seats, cheerfully smacking each other on the head. Alfie remembered riding in the back of Clarice's car when he was small. It was a warm, fuzzy memory. Before school came along, and the jostling and jeering and the dread of the playground. Because doesn't break time last 100 years when you've no one to talk to? Clarice had picked Alfie up from school too, of course. He'd walk out of the gate alone while the other kids raced out roaring or pottered along chatting. Clarice would give him a cheese straw and a sympathetic pat on the arm. She tried her best, really, but sometimes this made Alfie feel worse. Today they had driven for what felt like 1,000 miles. They had listened to Rock Baby's nursery rhymes for hours. One baby had been sick, and Clarice had sworn twice. Clarice smiled grimly.
"We're making good time. Won't be long now. Your aunts will be so looking forward to seeing you."
"I doubt that," said Alfie.
"Oh, Alfie, what a thing to say."
"Before last Thursday, I didn't know I had aunts," Alfie explained. "I've never even met them. They obviously don't want to be bothered with a nephew."
"I'm sure that's not the case,"
Clarice exclaimed.
"And maybe you just forgot you had aunts?"
Alfie shook his head. "Having aunts is the sort of thing I would remember." Then Alfie did remember. Once upon a time, his parents whispering in the kitchen. His parents often whispered in the kitchen when they were alive. Only this time, his mother was doing more than whispering. She was hissing, just like one of those lesser-spotted killer river geese his father was fond of.
"Have you forgotten the turkey bewitchment, Phineas?"
Alfie's mother hissed to Alfie's father.
"Don't you remember the boy's first Christmas, when your sisters came to visit?"
"Araminta," said Alfie's father in a low, angry voice. "If anything happens to us, my sisters will be the boy's only living relatives. I'm just as flummoxed by that fact as you are, but there it is. Unless you can produce any family members who might give a home to the boy in the unlikely event that we both meet with sticky ends." Alfie had hesitated at the doorway.
"That turkey, Phineas, had been roasting for hours in the oven."
Alfie's mother's face wore an expression of horror.
"Before it began to move."
Mr. Blackstack had looked at Alfie and coughed. Mrs. Blackstack, not noticing Alfie, why would she when he was 4 and small, continued.
"Dead as a doornail, brought to life, to hop, no, to dance across the lunch table."
"Enough, dearest," Mr. Blackstack had growled, pointing at Alfie. "The boy." Mrs. Blackstack glanced at Alfie. Then she turned and glowered down her spoon-billed nose at Mr. Blackstack.
"Perhaps he ought to meet his aunts," she muttered. "Then he'll know what sort of a weirdo family he belongs to."
"I have aunts?" Alfie asked. The only relatives he knew of were Mum and Dad. "That's none of your business," snapped his father. "But Mum just said—" Mr. Blackstack glared at Mrs. Blackstack. "See what you've done?"
"We'll have no more talk of aunts, Alfie," said Mrs. Blackstack coolly. "Not in this house."
Then Alfie remembered another time when, having sneaked down for a late-night snack, he overheard this from the kitchen.
"I worry about the boy,"
Mrs. Blackstack was bleating.
"Not to be brave or strong or daring. How will he protect himself out there in the big wide world?"
Alfie had just started school. He spent most days trying to hide from the teachers and other pupils, behind the coats in the cloakroom, or in the toilets, or huddled in an empty corridor. Alfie was always found and led back to class to the smirks and giggles of the other children.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.